You know, when you think about it and you are Meghan Markle, you would have wondered if you were ever going to have an agreement with the family that you walked out on. You know, the ones I'm talking about, of course, not her own family, the ones that she wiped away and disinvited to her own royal wedding. And of course, not forgetting the fact that, well, yes, the other person that really, when you think about it, she owes a lot to, and did, until, of course, he became rather tricky. We're talking about her father, Thomas Markle. Again, interesting story behind that particular story, and one that finally, I believe, will only truly come out, sadly, upon his demise. I know it's an awful thing to say, but apparently that could be the case. It's developing. As ever, when I know more, you'll know more. What's interesting about this particular story, though, is it was one that apparently His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales, Prince William, and indeed Meghan Markle herself were fully agreed upon. Oh yes, a bit of a shock. As ever, let me explain. Morning, nice to see you, chums. Thank you so much as ever for your time and for joining me today. Wonderful to have your company. You keeping all right? I'm all right, thank you. Somebody said that's a Benny Hill wave. There's nothing wrong with Benny Hill. We like Benny Hill, don't we? In fact, I saw a message the other day from somebody who said to me, you know, I loved and grew up with all of that comedy deal that you talk about. And it never leaves you, does it? You know, it just doesn't leave you. Funny is funny is funny. I still look at the clips of things like Benny Hill and Dick Emery, Are You Being Served, all of that. And if you want a bit of a tickle of the funny bone, it's definitely the way to go ahead, isn't it? Someone who's not feeling the tickle of the funny bone, particularly from Meghan Markle, is none other than His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales, Prince William. Difficult, really, for him, you know, when you think, because as I've said, you know, Meghan and Harry have created a huge problem for him, knowing that this is going to be his destiny, the one apparently where he's trapped, you know. Of course, Meghan's not trapped and Harry's not trapped, but apparently William and Charles are. King Charles, should I point out. I mean, they don't look totally unhappy, do they? They don't look bereft at every corner, not playing victimhood, all that sort of stuff. But apparently this is the problem, of course, engulfing them. Now, as you know, recently, Meghan Markle decided that she wanted to shock the world. And, as I pointed out, very cleverly decided to tell her friend while eating cake, Mindy Kaling, in a rented kitchen, all while the cameras were there, well, you know I'm Meghan Sussex now. Oh, yes, Mindy found out the hard way what it's like to become a friend of Meghan on camera. Gritting through her teeth, I thought she handled it incredibly well, Mindy, because I would have said, no, I'd got no idea. But of course, you know, this is television and they had to keep it going. Now, what got interesting, of course, was, as you know, she then decided to pop up and offend the daytime TV host, Drew Barrymore, making Drew go a stage further by introducing her after the break as Meghan Sussex. Now, all that went quiet, didn't it? I don't know if you remember that, chums. Everything suddenly disappeared. Why did Meghan suddenly decide to, you know, retire that particular name? Well, if you remember also, Prince Harry tried to do the name change game simply because he wanted to know if it was possible to become a Spencer. And we know how that went. I got to the bottom of that very quickly, and as you can imagine, legalities and, of course, not exactly, how shall we put it, a warmth about that particular idea from certain individuals didn't go their way. So Meghan, according to the source, you know, is now just hoping that, well, bottom line is you just don't mention it again. However, His Royal Highness Prince William, the Prince of Wales, was hoping that this would stick. You see, he would be more than delighted to have that disassociation. Now, I don't know about you, I feel sorry for the poor people of Sussex, you know. They're never going to go back there. They're not exactly a great ambassador for the county, so why on earth would they allow it? Well, according to the source, you see, William thinks this is kind of a good idea, you know, moves it away from the family name of Windsor, and of course, in the fullness and due course of time, all of those titles will be stripped away anyway, so they can call themselves what they want. But as, of course, a source close to Prince William pointed out, Meghan knows truly the value of the Royal Association, and the name Sussex doesn't exactly have the same ring around the world as Windsor. Meghan's no fool, and that's the reason why she used the HRH, and more importantly, insists on being called by new members of staff Mom behind the scenes. Oh yes, and what's fascinating there is William's all too aware of exactly how Meghan sees herself in the royal structure. But he was more than happy for Meghan Sussex to stick. Now, sadly for him, it didn't. Or did it? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.